Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to round 11 of the East Coast Series, coming to you from the Suzuka circuit in downtown Japan. And big shout out to NATO. How are you going, mate?
Hey Johnny, hey everyone, I'm good mate, how are you?
Oh, not too bad. Coming to you live from the COVID capital of Australia. And it's not Melbourne or Sydney.
Yeah, I was say you confused me for a second. I thought you were going to scare me by saying I was back in lockdown, so don't give me a heart attack like that.
I'm living in a nicer house at the moment, so making the most of it. I was the one lucky enough to go back to work today.
Nice. So there's when you got a simulator around and a whole heap of time and a motorsport passion, there's certainly nothing better to do, especially on a Tuesday night.
Absolutely. And, of course, we are in the midst of an enthralling series here at East Coast. Very, very close. We might start off by looking at the time we've got left. We might quickly jump in and have a quick look at the championship so everyone knows where the standings are at. Still very tight at the top. We have Blake Warboys still in the lead after last week's efforts. So Blake's on 17-20 points with Jamie McKnight only 19 points behind. And we're noticing that Jamie, with his 0 incident points and getting the bonuses for that, is really hanging on to Blake in this championship.
Yeah, it's like you said, it's very, very tight up the top. There's a little bit of a gap starting to form, sort of when you look across that top 5 in regards to how close all of them were. But I mean, from 4th down to about 8th, there's absolutely nothing in it. But Blake and Jamie are just starting to creep ahead a little bit of young H there in the championship. So it'll be very, very interesting to see how it plays out and see how the bonus points go and to see how these last few rounds go.
It'll be very, very interesting to see. We might just have a quick look at the track while we're in here. And the track itself is really an interesting circuit in the sense that it's the Formula One layout that we're using tonight, which has been used by Formula One for quite a few years now. So we sort of start into the first turn, which is actually 2 corners, and then into the S-curve, which is quite famous and well known around this circuit. And then after that, we then come through the long, grueling Dunlop curve up through the top of the hill. And then we work our way around after that one into the Dengar curve. And then under the tracks, this is one of the only race circuits where we have a figure of 8 pattern, up into the hairpin. And then from the hairpin, we work our way around to the famous spoon curve. And turn 14 is a real tough one because it's actually a reverse camber on the circuit there. And then we go down the long, big straightaway. Big opportunity for slipstreaming and setting yourself up. And then when we get to the end of that one, we go through the famous R130 and into then the Casio Triangle. Big, heavy braking into the Casio Triangle. Of course, the Casio Triangle has been made super famous from, of course, our incident with Ayrton Senna and Alain Prost. And then after the Casio Triangle, back onto the start-finish straight.
Yeah, she's quite an eventful track, she is, Johnny. It's not one that you usually find people pick up and can be very, very quick at right from the get-go. It's a very, very technical flowing track, lots of turning and braking at the same time, a lot of mid-corner speed and a lot of hurt for the tyres because there's a lot of those flowing corners that really, really generate a lot of heat and tyres don't like that.
I'd have to agree, Nate. It's probably one of the most technical circuits the boys will race on in this series. And you've also got the undulations as well, which sort of creates a little bit of extra force under the tyres. And some very hard stopping and some very sort of real flowing.
It's almost kind of like it's Phillip Island's bigger brother with how hard it wants to hurt the tyres and how flowing it is.
Absolutely. And then, of course, I forgot to mention that Corey Shepherd holds the lap record here. So this is probably one of the first circuits we've been to where it's not James Scott. So g'day to James if you're out there. You should be racing tonight, mate. See if you can set that record.
There you go. There's a challenge for you, James. Can you hit a lap record for every single track that we go to on East Coast? Challenge has been put out.
Mind you, in saying that In saying that, it was a case of James Scott did have the record for the ZB.
Okay, fair enough then. Cheers, mate.
Yes. And big shout out to Dave Baldock out there as well for getting on and commenting. Yep, Dave, I'd be scared of that track after a couple of weeks ago because I do believe I followed you around for a fair bit. And when I'm following somebody, I'm a bit like that old beat up car in the old Top Gear challenges. That's usually me at the back.
Yeah, well, because you vet boys did quite a long race here as well, didn't you?
Yes, and a very chaotic race. So hopefully these boys tonight can all get through the first couple of corners nice and clean. But I know the vets split two boys when we raced here a few weeks back. It was carnage.
Well, it does again. Suzuka's one of those tracks that part of me's not surprised that it was such a chaotic race, but it is one of those tracks that, with how technical it is, it does induce a lot of chaos for the drivers, which usually results in viewing pleasure for us watching, but it's not very well received by a driver when you're on the receiving end of a bad night at Suzuka.
Absolutely. A big shout out to Toddy Haynes. I'm a bit disappointed that Ben hasn't got you in here tonight. I have to have words to that race control fella. I've heard he's a bit cranky tonight, so just have to be a bit careful.
Yeah, I think Rich might have to keep an eye out over his shoulder tonight in that safety car.
Might have to. We might just have a quick look. As we said, the championship's tight, so let's have a quick look at the qualifying and see what's happened over the last two nights of the boys doing their quali. So, no surprise, Blake Warboy's back on pole.
He's back up there again.
He's back up there. So Blake with a 2-minute .463. Just got up on Michael Whiting from 2 minutes and .728. And then Paul Young from PRA, big shout out to the PRA boys. Youngie got himself into the top three. Not too far away in that tight pack is also Troy Maguire and Jamie McKnight. He's nearly 0.6 of a second off the pace from Blake. So it's going to be very interesting. See if Jamie can work his way through. And then not to mention as well that we have Christian Smart. He's the USSR teammate of Jamie sitting right behind him. And then Rob Carmichael rounding out the Fishy boys. So I think we're in for another night where the Fishy boys will be putting the pressure on the leading pack again.
Yeah, that's I reckon the Fishy boys might even come into their own tonight, sort of being in Japan, and we know fish is a big part of the culture over there, so could be their time to shine.
It could be. Absolutely his time to shine. And we have a look a bit further down the order there. Blair Van Ree wanted me to mention that he qualified in front of Ash Barella. So I've mentioned that.
Good little inter-team battle. But the big question is, did Blair actually put the right paint on this week? And which car is he driving?
Who knows? We will find out. We will find out. And any other big names there? Harrison Dengate sitting down in 14th. That's probably the surprise package. The man is third in the series. Fair way down the order.
I noticed that. So I wonder if he was just caught up doing a few other things, or I wonder if he was caught up trying to get a race set up and couldn't put that quick lap together. But either way, being closer to that mid-pack, he's certainly going to have to work hard for it tonight.
Definitely has to. Yeah. So it's going to be really interesting, I reckon, with Blake. Yeah. With Blake up there with Michael Whiting, Paul Young with his best qualifying result of the series so far, sitting there in third. I'm really expecting this to be a great battle. And, then you sort of got the McKnights sort of sitting a little bit further back. The master of looking after tyres and saving fuel. The old wily people's champion that he is.
And I have a feeling, dare I say it early on, I reckon tonight's going to be a little bit like last week. Probably going to be more of an issue with tyres than what it is going to be an issue about fuel. So obviously, fuel's going to play a big factor in it, but if you run out of tyres before you can even get to the end of your fuel tank, as we saw last week, that could be quite a large issue.
So let's go to the grid. Quickly run through it again. We've got Blake Warboys on pole, Michael Whiting, Paul Young, Troy Maguire, Jamie McKnight, Christian Smart, Rob Carmichael, Matty Dench, Michael Stewart, Nathan Gore. Of course, the HSR boys are missing Dumbrell tonight, so it's a bit upset Michael's not here. Timmy Nichols in top 11 representing Peckies. And then we've got Darren Shannon, followed by Scotty McCune, Harrison Dengate, Steve Kennedy, Nicholas Loveridge, Blair Van Reen 7th, Frank Hodak 18, Ash Barella 19, Darren Crosby from M1 in 20, Josh Drage in 21, Andrew Hoffman in 22, Andrew Archer 23, Toddy Martin from Scorpion, big shout out to Rushy in 24, and then in 25 we've got Tyrone Anderson, Troy Sipple in 26, Cookie in 27, Dave Garbett in 28, Pecky in 29th. Good to see Pecky here. Ryan Van Ree in 30th, 31st Shane Ewans, 32nd Paul Hayes starting from the rear of grid. Sorry, Dylan Gray as well from rear of grid with Richie Barella in the safety car.
Well, another very large grid there again tonight, Johnny.
Yeah, it is, mate. It's good to see we got some good numbers again.
Mm.
As we pick up the TV cameras to get this start. Can't be too far away now. I'm assuming Ben's probably giving me 3 minutes, so I've probably gone way too quick through that. So
No, you just about got it right. There's 10 seconds on my clock remaining, Johnny, so we're very close.
Very close. Oh, that's good. Whew. So if you're following along at home, don't forget to jump in, give us your comments. If you're following somebody, let us know who you think's going to win.
And even better one if have a quick guess and let us know which livery is Blair running tonight. Is he in the Mustang? Is he in the Holden? Will it be shiny by the end of the evening? Let us know your thoughts.
Green flag.
4 greens, 5 lights. We are racing.
Right.
Bit of wheel spin there off the front line by Michael Whiting's allowed him to get swallowed up by the pack. A little bit of a tap there with McKnight, but Blake Warboy is into turn 1 first. Followed by Troy Maguire. And we've got a car off there somewhere.
Oh, who's that? Is that Mick Knight? Is that that's around the wrong way?
We'll come back to that. Jamie's going down the order. So not sure what's happened there. We'll come back to the replay. It's called for race control.
Yeah.
So
Well,
as we come
first
through
corner
this,
didn't fail to deliver tonight.
definitely didn't.
BP.
So race control already in the thick of it. So Blake Warboys leads the way into the Dengnar curve. From Troy Maguire, Christian Smart, Michael Whiting in 3rd, Nathan Gore, the big winner, up into 5th, Rob Carmichael 6th, Paul Young down from 3rd to 7th, Scotty McCune in 8th, and Harrison Dengate in 9th.
Thanks, buddy.
Wow, great start from Young H.
So we've got a bit of a train lighting up here behind Michael Whiting. As we continue on this first lap, as we come through the spoon curve, Blake Warboys with a 0.5 second lead already over Troy Maguire.
Yeah, Blake's rival, Jamie McKnight, I think he's down just inside the top 30, is he, Johnny?
Yep, let's go back. We'll try and have a look what happened to Jamie. We'll go to the Dirty Pig replay real quick. Oh, he's been T-boned. Not sure how that started, but that's not going to end well. It looks like Matty Dench in the middle there as well, involved in that one. That's not great news for the championship contender, McKnight. Back there with Paul Hayes.
Certainly going to have to work hard tonight to get back up near the front, but Blake would be if.
Well, there we go. Drive-through penalty for Matty Dench. So that's already highlighted the incident there. Wow, it's been a very busy start to this race already.
Yeah, race control wasting no time and having an investigation in that, so it's good to see that they're all over the top of it.
Race control will be very busy tonight.
I have a feeling it won't be as maybe not quite as smooth as the previous weeks.
Maybe not, I don't think. As we move on, we'll continue on. So Maguire's still 0.7 behind Warboys. And then we've got a little bit of a gap back to Smart and then all the way back to Carmichael. So Rob Carmichael at the moment's got a few contenders queuing up behind him with Nathan Gore, Paul Young and Scotty McCune. Dengate at the back of this train. We actually have a car stopped on track as well. Looks like
Ooh,
Nathan Cook.
Early safety car, dare I say it.
Looks like he's got himself going. Looks like Nathan Cook's
Yeah.
had a little bit of an off there coming out of the last of the S's. Before the... So, yep, we'll go back to the front. Yes, so definitely been a fair bit of information going on through there already. So we're all still fairly well tightly bunched. War Boys had still half a second lead from Maguire, starting to settle into the race. Christian Smart, Whiting, Carmichael, and Rob is under a fair bit of pressure here. As we jump on board with Rob from Fishy Motorsport. He's got Nathan Gore, Young, McCune, Dengate going up behind. Looks like Youngie going for the big pass up the inside here. Will he hang on to it? No, too wide.
Not quite. Very tricky to get a pass done going into there. It looks like there's plenty of room in a big braking zone, so you would assume you could get it done, but with the way the chicane goes, it's very, very hard to actually be able to pull it off.
And look at Harrison Dengate right across to the inside there.
Yeah.
Definitely bracing very hard tonight, the boys. As Paul Young gets right under the rear bumper there with Nathan Gore.
H manages to get the pass done. Yeah, it's, and I've been trying to have a look-see through the field as well, and I'm struggling to see where to look, or there's just action going on everywhere at the start of this race, and we're only on lap 3.
Not wrong. These boys are definitely still where the action's at the moment as we stay on board with the 6th place Nathan Gore. So we're sort of looking at this battle pack that sort of extends now all the way back to Josh Drage in 16th. This is really quite an intense little battle, this one.
I think Josh Drage is actually our hard charger early on at this part of the race, Johnny. Still having a quick look-see through.
I think that's correct. So I believe Dylan Gray started rear of field.
Yes, yeah, Dylan has, wow, he's moved up a number of spots, but yeah, because he started rear of field as we learned last week. That unfortunately doesn't get you a VIP pass to come have a chat with us.
No, it doesn't. We just jump on board here with Josh Drage. So Josh, the rear end of that train, looks like he's just losing him a little bit, so we might just jump up one more to Ash Barella. Please don't have an accident, Ash.
Josh, if he does, it's not on us.
And big shout out to Roy Clark. He's finally here, which is good to see. And there's Ash here, as we can see in front. Timmy Nichols doing really well. This train is quite long.
Yeah, it's 10 cars long. It's I was counting how many there were, and it felt like it was never ending, to be honest. I nearly ran out of fingers, including my bung one, which counts as 2 at the moment.
Rumour has it, Nate, that you actually deliberately went and jammed it in the door so you can keep commentating instead of driving in the East Coast Series. Any truth to the rumour?
I can neither confirm or deny any statements that are thrown my way this evening, but it may be on the enjoyable side of things, and the surgeon may have got a bit confused why it's taking so long, but I mean, if he manages to get a hold of a sim, or if he comes and joins us one day, then he'll understand what I'm on about.
So up front, while we sit here and watch Ash Barella work with Timmy Nichols and Blair Van Ree, the bottom back end of this train that we've been watching. We've still got Blake Warboys a second in front of Troy Maguire, Christian Smart a second and a half back. We might go back and have a look at how Jamie McKnight's travelling as he tries to fight his way back. So Jamie was at the rear of field after an accident in turn 1. He's worked his way back up to 19th. Still down 19 spots, but working his way back. This could be a very big blow for his championship aspiration, with Blake still in P1.
so unpredictable with what can happen in these long races. Like it's certainly, I wasn't picking that either McKnight or Blake to get caught up in anything in the first lap, but I guess that's motorsport, isn't it? Just anything is possible.
That's pretty much
Jamie
right.
does have the advantage of being in a bit of clear air at the moment, so whilst I'm sure he would rather be sitting behind someone's toe, I'm sure he'll be doing a fantastic job at just being able to pick the lines that he wants and being able to protect those tyres, so he's not going to be losing out in comparison to Blake, who's out front with all the clear air in the world as well. I don't think it's from that point of view going to hinder him too much. He's just obviously going to want to gain that time that he's lost from the incident.
I'm hoping for a safety car, which will bunch everybody back up. We'll see what happens there. We might just jump back up and have a look how Paul Young's going. He's still got Harrison right behind him, so we've still got this long train behind Paul Young. Bit of a scuff on the right-hand side of Youngie's car there, so I'm just wondering whether that might be affecting a little bit of his straight line speed.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it, what iRacing determines as slow down damage and what isn't too bad. So for his sake, he'd be hoping that there isn't anything wrong with it, but from young H's point of view, he'd be wanting any advantage he could get behind him. So
Absolutely.
I'm sure these two will pan it out and see how it goes, especially by the time we get to the first lot of pit stops.
Of course, we've got 43 laps. We're only 5 laps down, so it's still early days in this race. So I'll be interested to see how the guys' setups all hang on as we get later in the stint with their tyres. Harrison well and truly in the slipstream here.
Well, going off Larko's calculator, which I managed to steal every single Tuesday night, 1/3 race distance, or the first stop, I reckon that we'll start to see is 14.33 laps into it. So between lap, I reckon either lap at a guess, seeing what some of the guys do from lap about 12 to I'm going to take a punt and even say lap 17 if some of them can really stretch it. I reckon that's when we'll start seeing the first round of pit stops, Johnny.
Absolutely. I was thinking the same thing without Larko's calculator, using the old grey matter.
I don't think anyone will be able to make it the half race distance, but we haven't seen anyone do it yet this series, but it'd be interesting to see if someone had a crack at it.
Of course, Harrison's gotten past Paul here as well.
Maybe that front end is affecting Paul.
Might be. Darren Crosby's had a bit of an incident. We might go to the Dirty Pig replay and have a bit of a look what happened to Darren. Oh, bang! That's a bit of a tap and a spin. Wouldn't be too happy about that one. I reckon race control will be involved. And there goes McKnight.
I have noticed Blair has readdressed as well, so doing the right thing, and it's good to see the drivers take the initiative instead of waiting for race control to try and sort it out before it has to get escalated any further. So it's not the first time. There was another incident early on, I can't remember the two drivers, where they both readdressed and sorted themselves out before anything was called over. So it is fantastic to see again the amount of respect that all the boys have for one another.
Absolutely, the boys do really well. Josh has asked the question, who's in the pit tonight? We might come back to that one a bit later.
It's a surprise, it is, Joshy.
And we might come back and have a look at how Darren Shannon's running. Just trying to find him on my list. Darren is running in 14th at the moment. So he's in a little bit of a battle right behind Barella and Josh Drage. So, yep, Darren's been part of that long train we've been talking about, that battle that was from 8th all the way to 16th. So it looks like he's nicely settled in there behind Ash, probably waiting to take his opportunities. If you are following along at home, feel free to jump in the chat, let us know how we're going. Let us know who you think's going to win tonight.
And also let us know if you think when you reckon we need to hit the big finish button. It's some weeks it's certainly shaped up to be a cracker of a finish, and other weeks it's been a case of who's had the best strategy. So
Here we go,
anything's possible.
Darren's starting to get a little bit antsy here, putting a bit more pressure on Brella. And Drage and Van Rees still also right in hunt here. Cannot afford to make a simple mistake. Simple mistakes will cost you, I reckon. Big time.
Yeah, especially with how close everyone is behind. Like, if you make, it's not just one spot you'll be losing, you'll probably find yourself at the end of the train. And like we saw earlier, having up to 10 cars in one train battling for the position, it's going to be a lot of hard work to get those 10 spots back.
That's right, and especially when you start, the Midnight catches up to the back of this train, he's going to be in a situation where he's going to have to get through these guys. Might just jump up the front and have a look what's going on. Troy Maguire still in second, but Christian Smart's caught up now, only 0.6 of a second behind, which is rather interesting in the sense that that battle is going to really open up, I think. I think we might see Christian get past Troy at some stage.
Yeah, well, Christian was approximately 0.3 of a second quicker, nearly doing the exact same pace as what Blake was doing out the front, so Blake is still that little bit quicker than the other two boys, but I reckon Christian might be on a bit of a roll here at the moment. He's certainly found his groove.
Oh, Andrew Hoffman. Oh, that's not a pretty tap. She looks like a pretty rusted up machine. It's a very nice paint job. Yeah, poor old Andrew. Still not rolling. Hopefully he's just waiting for the guys to go through. And we'll go back to live pictures. There's Christian Smart has gotten past Troy Maguire. So we've missed the overtake there because we went to the accident.
It's still going on everywhere at the moment.
Yeah, it's kind of don't know where to look.
Yeah, for such a big, long, fast track, there's still a lot of people that are very, very close together, and like our qualifying times are sort of spread out a little bit, but obviously qualifying versus race pace, two completely different things at this track, so race pace has certainly bunched everyone up in comparison to some weeks that we've seen.
Definitely has. We might just have a quick look through the pack at hard charges. So at the moment, it's a fairly tight contest, of course, with Josh Drage up 7 spots. Driver for Pecky Performance Racing. Doing really well. And of course, race control. We might have a quick look what's going on in there.
Always up to something, that
race control's definitely not happy about the incident we just saw before with Andrew Hoffman.
I reckon they've gotten used to a pretty cruisy Tuesday night. It's understandable why they might be angry if they have to do a little bit of work. I just heard over the radio, Jamie McKnight seems to be having a few little issues again, trying to work his way through the field.
Well, he's just been off the track, so I might just have a quick look on the Deddy Pig replay. Oh, McKnight! Oh, that one is definitely not going to have race control happy. Race control are definitely not going to be happy about that.
I don't think it's race control's night tonight.
I don't think so either.
I think we'd better go careful, Johnny. We might get a drive-through at this rate. Jamie's still pressing on, doing his best. We're up to lap 9 at the moment, so we're possibly only a few laps away before we start seeing a few of these magical pit stops. And I wonder who's going to try the undercut. And here's almost a question for yourself, and even for the viewers that are watching: do you reckon that the undercut will work on this track as well as it has worked in previous weeks?
I reckon it might, mate. I just think it's one of those tracks where fresh tyres give you that extra leg and that extra speed to get you over the line.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with you. Yeah, it's certainly like everyone seems to be sort of plateauing off to the speed they're doing. Like the tyres get wear out pretty quickly, but the edge that you have from a new tyre around this track, if you're just a second or two behind the bloke in front of you, you might be able to actually squeeze it out of him on the outlap. So
that's exactly right.
Todd Hayne definitely agrees with us. Reckons the undercut will work. So I can't say I've done many long races personally myself around this track, but just watching them and watching how these they're panning out and watching how previous weeks have occurred, I think it could be a strong part of the strategy tonight.
It could be. Let's just have a look and see how Michael Whiting's getting on. So Michael is sitting second on the second on the grid. He's down 2 spots in 4th. With Rob Carmichael behind him, so the 2 fishy boys are 1, 2. Oh, sorry, 4 and 5. Dengate's 3 seconds back in 6th. Young's further 3 seconds back again in 7th. So the pack's starting to spread out a little bit here. War Boys, of course, out to nearly a 4-second lead. McGuire coming back at Christian Smart, though. And Ryan Van Rie's been off track, so let's go look what happened to Ryan. Oh, and got that completely wrong at Spoon Curve. This is also a tough track, of course, for off tracks as well, so the boys have got to all be very careful.
It's interesting. I know the car's green, Ryan, but you got to try and keep it on the. You got to try your best to keep it on the black stuff. So coming from experience, it usually works a little bit better.
Absolutely. So let's have a quick look at Blake Warboys. Definitely cleared out 3.5 seconds. Maguire. He's got, Smart, Maguire, Whiting, Carmichael, Dengate. That's our leading bunch. We might sort of pop down the back and have a quick look. Say good day to a few of our fans down the back. Let their supporters have a look and see how they're going. So we might have a look. Of course, we've got Shane Ewens. Big shout out to Shane. Doing really well from all the esports.
That's a pretty good looking livery, I reckon, Johnny.
It is.
To have a good sticky beak there, I quite like that.
And of course, back here we've got Darren Shannon as well, the old Emu sim racing team. I know Darren has quite a few followers out there watching, so cheer him on, boys. He's working his way back up. I'd say he's been involved in a few little things. Dave Garbutt, a little bit of traffic going on. Dave at the back here.
Oh, sorry. Ryan Van Ree has stopped on track. He's got it going again. I'm not too sure what happened, but I was on with David and saw Ryan stop there.
He's hit the tyre wall, bounced back around. Looks like that's a Spoon Curve again. It seems to be his favourite spot of the track. Well, got it going there. I think he's just waited for traffic, I think. It's got to get the spoon out of his mouth.
Yeah, there's no more ice cream or no more dessert left on it. Needs to take it out and put it through a dishwasher.
So this is a new one. Correct me if I'm wrong, but Dave Garbutt's running the HSR livery. I'm not sure he was running that last week.
Not too sure either. I don't remember seeing any purple on any of the HSR cars, so this could be a question for your viewers out there. Is David Garbutt a new member of the HSR crew?
Yeah, it'd be interesting to know.
Tell us all the goss.
Toddy Martin from Scorpion Esports. Big shout out to Mickey Rush if you're watching, Mick. And in front we've got Paulie Hayes. Big shout out again to the Scorpion team. And Frank Hodak. Nicely running the white livery, RSR livery tonight. That's quite a good looking livery too. Getting a bit loose in the rear end there.
Yeah, just showing it off from all angles.
And the man we all like to see, Mark Peck. So a good looking livery as well, old Pecky.
Still running the Stanley livery.
Yep. Doing very well. 22nd, up 7 spots. Contender for hard charger.
Very solid effort.
And of course, Troy Sipple, another one of the Scorpion Esport boys, doing really well, running in 21st. Good to see Sips has really been a big improver over the last few weeks. Matty Dench fighting his way back from the run-in with McKnight in turn 1 on the first lap. So working quite well, putting a bit of pressure on Darren Crosby here. Might see a pass happen.
Yeah, certainly running side by side, giving it a good go. Nice and cleanly gets it done.
Gets the job done. Dylan Gray started from rear of field, another one of the RSR boys. And good old Steve Kennedy, another one of the M1 Racing lads. Another great looking livery, I don't mind that one. Andrew Archer, the other person who's up 7 spots. It's another one contending for...
We've got a few contenders for our hard charge tonight, don't we?
We do. We might jump up, let's quickly run through them. So we've got Paul Hayes. He's up 8 spots. And the other one up 8 spots is Harrison Dengate. So we did say he had to have a big performance to try and hang on to 3rd in the championship. So I guess
he's certainly proving it, isn't he?
He's definitely doing all right. And with Jamie down the order a bit, he's so McKnight's back in 28th. So McKnight back there, Dengate in 6th. So he might be doing himself some favours by hanging on tonight. Who else are we going to say good day to? Andrew Archer we've done, Matty Dench. Of course, Mr. Timmy Nichols. Doing quite well. I think he's leading the pack for the Pecky Performance boys, up in the top 10 tonight. So that's a great effort from Timmy.
Yeah, very good to see him in the top 10. What we love to see.
We've got a car stopped on track. Let's see if I pick that up.
Very interesting.
Oh, that's looking very second hand. Let's have a look what happened here. We might go to the replay. Well, that was Dylan Gray. I've got the wrong one there, guys. Apologies.
Dare I say it, safety car near first pit stop
window.
Windows.
That's a big off in turn 1. He's hit that hard. I'd be expecting to be some damage there. He might not even get it back to the pits.
Well, we are up to that lap 13. We're nearly at our critical 14.3 lap number for the first pit stop window. So Ash would definitely be liking the fact that that's a tyre barrier as opposed to a concrete wall.
I'd hate to be the bloke painting that car. You're not going to be happy with that.
Yeah,
not going to be happy with that at all.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of respraying and a lot of vinyl wrapping to get that thing back to looking pretty again.
Let's go back up the front. We'll settle back in. Oop. There's War Boys. Works his way through turn 1 and turn 2. So Blake's still out to 4 seconds. Might have a look at Harrison. Harrison looks like he's in a close battle. Looks like he's caught back up to Rob Carmichael now.
And to confirm from Stewie in the comments there, Blake's gearbox, aka computer, is working a treat for him. So he's certainly loving the upgraded bits and bobs there.
That's good. So we've sort of spread out a bit up front. War Boys out to a 4.5 second lead. Smart in second. Maguire in third, 1.5 seconds behind. Michael Whiting in fourth. He's a further 4 seconds back, and Carmichael is further 3.5 seconds back again, back to Harrison Dengate, who we got on screen with here chasing him down.
I don't reckon these pit stops can be too far away, Johnny. Unless they're trying to shape up for a long first stint, short middle stint, and a long final stint again. Try and utilise how much pace they can get out of fresh tyres, maybe.
They could be. I think you've definitely got to be running on the edge of that one there. Of course, pit stops, of course.
Yeah, and speaking of pit stops in our pit reporters, I didn't seem to have any luck. I got caught up at too many restaurants eating too much food for which is unheard of because I eat a lot of food. So have you managed to have any luck finding anyone at all, Johnny?
Well, I took cap in hand and went up to race control and asked if we had a budget, and asked if we could afford to get a pit reporter, and the response I got was, how about no?
Oh, bother. Well, I thought we were, after our 20 viewers last week, I thought we were stepping up in the world and our budget was going to get increased, but, well, that seems to have fallen through, hasn't it?
Yep, race control at their best again.
It's not race control's week, is it? It's, I believe, a good case to turn that frown upside down.
And we might just have a quick look at how Blake's getting on. So our race leader, Blake Warboys,
Bit excessive, Dylan.
getting up with a bit of traffic. Doing reasonably well. We might just put, as we're getting in the lap traffic now, we might put the battle box back on.
Blake.
So, yep, catching up with Tyrone Anderson. So the front pack has really spread out now. So we're sort of looking at a further 6 seconds back to Troy Maguire in third. Then Michael Whiting further back again in fourth. There's another 4 seconds back. So Dengate still putting all the pressure on Rob Carmichael.
Yeah, Young H has got some pretty good race pace tonight. It's good to see.
Starting to see a few boys dive into the pits now. A few of our middle pack runners.
We're at that magical lap 14, 15 we are, Johnny, so it's still starting to happen.
It is.
Steve Kennedy, Josh Drage and Todd Martin all in the pits.
So Harrison coming through the R130 corner. Will we have a look going into Casio Triangle? No. So if you were Harrison, Nate, what would you do here? Would you think about the undercut on Rob? Oh, there you go. Rob's dived into the pits anyway.
There you go, Rob. There's Rob straight in.
So the first of our top 10 drivers, Carmichael from Fishy, going into the pits first.
Yeah, well, it's after seeing him go in, if I was H, to be honest, if I saw him peel off like that, I probably would have followed him straight in because he'd be the next direct guy that I'd be following and trying to get ahead of. So I'd be a good case of monkey see, monkey do.
That's pretty much what you'd be at. Might have a look for the next nearest pack. We might go to Nathan Gore. Nathan Gore right up behind Scotty McCune. So this is our next battle pack on the track. Fortunately, the boys have all spread out a bit, so there's not too much to show for wheel-to-wheel action at the moment.
Yeah, it'll be. I think then the next lap or two is when it's all going to start to unfold again, Johnny, with this once these pit stops sort of pan themselves out. What I'm very curious about is how far will Blake, Christian and Troy manage to go in the first stint.
So McKnight's worked his way back up to 20th. For those following along at home. Let us know where you think Jamie will finish tonight after his lap 1, turn 1 incident. How far up the order do you reckon he can get? Love to hear the comments from everyone watching at home. So let us know. We might play Jamie McKnight bingo with that one.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how far back up he makes it and how well he can make his. We've seen that he can make the race strategy work in his favour on a number of occasions, but being in a situation like this, never did I think I'd be asking the question of how how well can Jamie make his strategy work to try and get back up to the front there?
Of course, the Too Easy Finance West End Mazda car, looking a bit second hand. So it's probably upsetting the performance of the car a little bit as well.
Yeah, definitely. Interestingly though, young H in the Rob Carmichael and Harrison Dengate battle, H hasn't pitted yet.
Just had Rob Carmichael have an off. Sorry, rephrase that. Daryl Shannon, I think it was. I'm a bit lost here. I've jumped somewhere and it didn't go where I wanted to.
Thanks, Shane.
There's a few off tracks happening as we go around at the moment, so bear with us.
There's a few people that have, the guys that haven't pitted yet, they're certainly struggling to keep their cars square and keep it under control during the mid-corner at a number of corners around this place. But like we spoke about, Johnny, it's very, very hard on the tyres around here.
It is. You see if Warboys is the first of our leaders, the first of our top three to go in. Remembering last week you get pitted earlier than everybody else. But we are on your magical lap 17.
Yeah, it's if they manage to go much further, I'm going to have to break out the calculator again as Blake goes around for another lap.
What we might do is we might jump on the gyro and do a lap. So listen to the sounds.
Thanks, Shane.
Go inside the next corner, don't we?
Sorry, Tim. Shit myself.
Sorry about the language. Oops. I thought I had that button off. Warboys peels off for the pits.
Gone in. What's Christian going to do?
Christian's diving
Christian's in as well.
And our third place man, Mr. Dengate at the moment. Let's see what young H will do.
Yeah, I didn't know Troy Maguire came in last lap, so it'll be interesting. Interesting to see if Troy has the undercut advantage versus H and the other two in front of him.
Paul Young from PRA in. Big shout out to the PRA fan club. Nathan Gore's the next man on track. And he's continued on his way. So I think Gore might have actually pitted a little bit earlier than everybody else. So he might just do a quick check of the pit strategy. No, he hasn't. So he's managed to go an extra lap. That's quite interesting to see. It's interesting if this pays off for him.
Yeah, well, I reckon that the second pit stop's going to be much more tactical compared to what we've seen in other weeks, because to make it through this race with one pit stop, you have to make it to lap. You have to either do a 21 lap first stint and a 22 lap second stint, or vice versa. You have to do a 22 laps on this first stint. So it's wow. And Troy Maguire's actually, sorry to change the topic here. Troy Maguire's become out the big winner. He's in front of everyone.
So that's interesting as he put less fuel in. That's the only reason why he'd be able to jump him that much.
Why is Blake still in the pits as well? This is very interesting.
Well, I think we might have some issues there. He probably hasn't filled the car up.
Come out.
Wow.
Yeah, that's very, very interesting. So I'm a little bit bamboozled there, Johnny.
You might just have to do a bit of investigative journalism, Nath. Might just need you to step away for a minute and ask the question.
Yeah, it's got me very, very curious. It has.
I think it's got everyone very curious what's just happened then. So we'll find out in a minute. There we go. Race controls all over it for us, NATO.
Yeah.
Unsafe entry or speeding in pits is what we believe it is. Naughty boy!
That will not make you a happy chappy. That will make anyone angry when you do that to yourself, because you have no one to blame but yourself.
Naughty boy.
Yeah, so that's there you go. So you can be too fast. It's just too fast into the pit lane.
Apparently 30 kilometres an hour faster in the pit lane.
Oh dear.
Oh dear.
That's maybe he was looking at the wrong brake marker on the way in.
I think you need to walk into the room next door, NATO, and just give him one of those little gentle taps on the back of the head.
That's
the old Three Stooges style.
The other thing I could do is I could very quickly print off a stop sign and put that behind his screen as well. I'm sure that'll go down a treat. I might be locking my doors tonight, ladies and gentlemen. If I'm not back next week, Blake didn't like it.
So if you're out there, Stewie, let us know your thoughts on that one.
Yes, and I'm sure Stewie won't be holding back at all either. Good luck, Blake.
So we'll jump back at the front of the pack now. We've got a race on again with Christian Smart, 0.8 seconds behind Troy Maguire. These two in the first stint. We're going toe-to-toe with a couple of changes in position.
I wonder if Nathan Gore's trying his best to do a one-stop strategy.
He could be. He's
not far off.
Yeah, let's drop back a bit. So sure he didn't pit, Nate? When we didn't dismiss it?
Uh,
No, he hasn't pitted yet. Still hasn't pitted.
Oh, phew, I thought I got it wrong for a second there.
Surely you don't get things wrong, Nato.
Nah, believe it or not, it does happen from the odd time here and there. Just my perception of the odd time versus everyone else's perception of the odd time here and there can be two different things, but we'll leave that up for the numbers and the crowd to decide.
Tyrone Anderson's had a little excursion in the Casio Triangle. Thought he'd take the MotoGP exit.
So Stewie's jumped on already, saying that he's put too much RAM into his gearbox. So it's definitely speeding things up for him, Stew. That's for sure. Let's Gore do this lap. Does he pit in? Does he try and make it to one stop this race? And he's still going. I reckon he's doing it. I reckon he's giving it a red hot go. Unless, I could be wrong. No, he must have pitted. This could be one of those rare occasions, ladies and gentlemen. I have missed something here. Oh dear.
We definitely have.
Oh, it got me really excited. I thought he was going to give it a go. I was really hoping he was.
And Christian Smart definitely keeping Troy Maguire honest.
Yeah, Troy's certainly been the big winner out of all this. He was the first man to pit, and we did ask the question early on, will the undercut work? And well, whilst Blake might have had that stop and hold, Troy still would have gained a couple positions out of it, so he's certainly making strategy work in his favour early on.
Definitely. Definitely making it work. Now, we've been very quiet about this, but guess he's back in the top 10.
Mr. McKnight, the People's Champion.
Slowly,
Wowza.
slowly creeping his way back in there. Doing very, very well.
Within like just over 100 kilometres of racing, it went from it could be a really bad night, so now Blake and Jamie not too far away from one another and both having to work hard to try and get this championship alive again. So just shows anything can happen in these races.
It does, and we've still got a long way to go. We've only just gone past half race distance.
Yeah, and we and this isn't even including, and this is what gets me really excited, is with how long Bathurst is going to be, there's going to be a number of different contenders or a number of different points that could happen throughout the race to make the championship go down to the wire. So I'm excited.
Definitely is exciting. Like, this is a great battle here. Christian right up, tucked under the front wing. Troy now.
Here we go. Here's a question back for you, and also one for the viewers. We've seen that the undercut works, and Troy Maguire has proven that the undercut works, and we're all a bit of a fan of the undercut. If you're in Christian's position, do you try and push on and try the undercut because you've used up your tyres early on, but hope that the lap before pit stop will work in your favour, or do you sit there and try and save fuel to make it a shorter pit stop and pit the same time as Troy?
Oh, look, to be honest, I'm going to go the other way. I'm going to say Christian's got the pace.
Yeah.
I think Christian's got the pace tonight to keep the pressure on Troy. And I think he's just got to hang back and push for the mistake. That's my thoughts there.
Yeah, it'll certainly be very, very interesting. Because in theory, this is where it gets even more interesting again. Because in theory, we actually aren't too far away from our next pit stops. The pit lane window to do an 18 lap stint, which is what we saw a lot of drivers do in that first stint, it's on lap 25. So the guys have only got to make it a couple more laps before they can do a splash and dash, chuck on a new set of tyres, and away they go. So it almost comes down to looking at the lap times, and as soon as your lap times start to drop off, maybe that's when you decide to pit.
That's exactly right. You could try and go that way. So it's going to be very interesting. I think there's still a lot to play out here in this race. And the other one which we're starting to see here as well is the boys are starting to come into a bit of lap traffic as well. You know, so if you do get into that lap traffic, you can get yourself into some trouble quite quickly, particularly at this track with some of these corners being really only one lane through.
Yeah, it's not a very inviting track for overtaking, is it?
Yeah, I'd have to agree with Roy Clark's comments too. Christian's in the box seat really. You can save fuel, making that next stop even shorter.
Yeah, because the other advantage that Christian has over Troy is that Christian can attempt the undercut before Troy, in the aspect of he can dart into the pit lane and Troy would not have enough time to be able to react and copy what Christian does. So I think in this battle Troy might be the underdog, but we have seen Troy certainly knows how to race and be competitive in these situations. So it is definitely on, it is.
Definitely is. We might just have a quick skim through the field, look at some other battles. McKnight is caught up to Timmy Nichols. So Jamie about to push up the P8. The other close battles, Nick Loveridge, Nathan Gore, and Blake is now coming into this pack as well. So Blake has a lot of work to do to push through these boys. Having a look.
Here's a question for you, Stewie. Even though the better gearbox for Blake has resulted in a pit lane penalty, will the better gearbox help him out to get ahead of everyone now?
Oh, too wide through Casio. Great to see Nick Loveridge not take a back step there. That's awesome driving.
Yeah, it's fair game for both boys. So great to see. He was hooking directly in behind Blake.
Yep, Darren Shannon's up into 10th as well. So he's doing quite well. Not too far up the road from these boys.
Oh, sorry to cut you off there, Johnny. Christian has got the lead of the race.
Well, he has too.
Wow, there you go. Christian is putting the pedal down.
So that means Christian is now the train of the sushi sandwich with the fishy car behind him.
Yeah, it certainly is quite a large sushi train behind him there. Yeah, it's all aboard on the Christian Smart Express. Don't miss your spot, otherwise your piece of sushi will go flying on by. So Christian has certainly put his put the hammer down though, in that little bit of clear air. Starting to pull away from Troy already.
Of course, there's another special announcement we've got to make tonight as well. For those listening at home and our loyal fans that are watching. We have another series coming up in 2022 known as the Big Five. It's a 5-race championship utilising the GTE, GT3 and GT4 cars. And this is all being done by Taipan Esports, so the same race organisation that we have here tonight. So it starts in January. It starts off with the Daytona 24-hour.
Wow.
We have a Bathurst 12-hour, Nürburgring 24-hour, Le Mans 24-hour, and Spa 24-hour.
That's a lot of racing, that is, Johnny.
No, it's over the whole year, so it's spread. It's not like what iRacing did last season, where they did back-to-back-to-back enduros. But this is a great opportunity to do 5 enduros at the 5 major enduro tracks. And Daytona 24-hour, that's quite well known, and one everyone wants to win. The Bathurst 12 hour is another one. Nürburgring 24-hour, Le Mans, Spa. Tell you what, I reckon if I was good enough, I'd do it, but we'll see how we go with that one.
Yeah, it's I didn't know it was coming up, so you've certainly got me intrigued there, Johnny, and it might be one that the Pinky Chicane man might be able to have a investigation to see if I can compete in it.
Of course, race control, pulling out the stops for this series, sharpening up their knives, and the whole series has race control, safety cars. It's going to be an epic one, so make sure you go check it out on the Taipan Esports page, or chuck in the comments and we can send you the link after tonight.
Yeah, most definitely. It'll certainly be worth, if you're even a little bit contemplating it, definitely jump on board and have a look-see and get all the information.
And Troy Maguire is still hanging on the Christian here, so it's not all still one-way traffic. And we have a quick look. Warboys is up to 11, McKnight's up to 8. So Darren Shannon has just had a run in here with Timmy Nichols. That's one way to get into the pits. Oh boy.
Well, it is within the pit window though, so anything is possible.
And just a bit of time there to do a doughy as well. I don't think race control is going to be too happy about that one.
No, I don't think they're. I don't think they're going to be jumping on the happy train anytime soon.
Bit slow on the buttons there, sorry. So Christian Smart's our race leader. Maguire just behind. And then Michael Whiting is a further 4 seconds back. And then a further 5 seconds back is the next of our fishy cars, with Harrison Dengate half a second behind him. So Harrison now starting to put the pressure on Rob Carmichael.
Yeah, I've been following these guys for the last lap, and H is certainly trying his all to get ahead of Rob. He's poking and prodding that WK&P car around in spots to try and get ahead of him, but Rob's keeping his eyes forward and keeping it nice and cool, and both drivers haven't had any contact yet, so that's great to see as well. But great experience from Rob to be able to keep H there, and H applying a lot of pressure on the back of him.
Just chuck the drone up in the air here and see if I can keep up. You see Harrison having a look everywhere.
I think young enthusiasm is certainly on H's side here.
Definitely. And coming down now, down start finish straight, heading down into turn 1, H in the slipstream.
Oh.
Not much room left in there, son. Long side. Oh, great driving though by Rob to give him room.
Very, very close.
Harrison hangs on to it. So Harrison takes the spot to move up to 4th. Some good driving there by H. Some excellent driving by Rob as well. Got to take your hat off. This is one thing I love about this series. Everyone gives everyone respect. Like, I've seen plenty of other people try and do that move and it just ends in tears on the grass.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you there. Like, we do talk about it a little bit, but that's because it's definitely a valid point, and it is genuinely fantastic to see the amount of respect that is going on between these drivers. Like, motorsport, and incidents do happen, but they can certainly be minimised when you just give the other bloke just that little bit of room and give him that little bit of trust that he's going to do the same thing. And that's what these guys do. So, again, hats off to everyone for the amount of respect that is out there.
Yeah, it goes a long way. It looks like Rob's tyres might be hurting a little bit here, so we mustn't be too far away from the next round of pit stops. Rob on the chat there, so I'm not sure. Anything too wrong with that?
Well, according to Larco's calculator, anything from that, like we've already spoken about, lap 25 is when it opens. About lap 36 is probably when we'll see the drivers push the tyres for their absolute longest. I don't think anyone will go that long, and I have a feeling maybe about the lap 30 to 33 might be sort of what we're looking at for a lot of cars coming in, but as we saw with my predictions on Nathan Gore earlier, anything is possible tonight, even from Larco's calculator.
Absolutely. As we jump on board with Mr. Warboys.
He's getting close to Jamie, isn't he?
So have a look at the next car up the road.
Wow, there's a huge difference in their time. Blake is 1.4 seconds a lap quicker than Jamie. So Blake has certainly got a bee in his bonnet about that penalty, and he's certainly doing everything he can.
Oh, McKnight into the pits. Oh, Warboys nice and loose.
Plot twist.
Definitely a plot twist.
Now what will Blake do? Will Blake try and copy and come in next lap? Or will the undercut work for Jamie, same as what it did for Troy earlier?
Definitely.
So many questions tonight, Johnny.
It is. We're definitely getting to the pointy end now. Like we said, we're going to let the viewers tonight call the big finish button. So no one's called it yet.
No, I haven't seen anything pop up yet, so feel free to jump on, viewers, if you reckon that it's going to be a big finish, and we'll get Johnny, get him all excited and let him hit that button. So we are nearly coming up to the hour mark in this race as well, so time's certainly flown on by tonight.
So let's just go quick back through the pack here, have a look, see if we've got some battles. Josh Drage, he is chasing down in front of him. Steve Kennedy. So these boys are nicely having a nice little battle here between the two of them. So the old Pecky Performance Racing entry. And Steve Kennedy, of course, is pushing up to the cars in front. We've got Barella in front of him. So Ash has got the panels back on the car. Seems to be recovering fairly well after his big off earlier.
Yeah, those the panel boys for Ash's car certainly have done a fantastic job tonight in getting that thing looking good. iRacing crew is all over it.
And Troy Maguire's now pulled out. He's now 2.5 seconds back from Christian Smart, so Christian's cleared out a bit. Wallboys is Dave for the pits. So let's keep an eye on where McKnight is. So McKnight's down in 19th after that pit stop.
How well will the undercut work for Jamie?
So it'll be interesting to see. We might just have a quick look at some of these pit strategies so we can see where everyone's laying at the moment.
Inside, Matt.
So McKnight just stopped at lap after 17. Went in early. Wallboys has done 18 and then he's done a lap shorter.
I wonder, Johnny, we've had Andrew Gore has jumped on saying that it could be an exciting finish. Do I dare count that as the big finish button?
I'll tell you what. Let's do it. Let's do it. There you go, Andrew. Just for you, mate. It's going to be a big finish.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's what you intended or not, but it doesn't take much to egg us down the path.
I reckon we're going to be in for a battle between Maguire, Smart, and then I'm not going to rule out Dengate for the podium.
Yeah, and H, I was having a look through one topic that we have sort of gone over a little bit with how much action that's been happening is the hard charger award, and Harrison's actually the hard charger at the moment, up 10 spots, I believe.
So what, McKnight has jumped Wallboys in pits.
Wow,
so
that's a big jump as well.
But not another good stop there from Blake, so not sure what's happened. Seemed to be there for a long time. And we go back up the front. We'll see how our leaders are progressing. So Christian Smart up 5 spots in the 9.9 SSR Sim entry.
Cheers, Ron.
Yeah, he's certainly had a nice trouble-free, clean race, Christian, hasn't he? Which
Definitely
is what
has.
you want. Keep your nose clear, and it usually rewards you in this series.
Will be. So he's definitely got himself out of a 3-second lead. So that's pretty good going. So we'll see how we go for these pit stops coming up. Scotty McCune and Nicholas Loveridge have gone in for those playing along at home. Ryan Van Rees had an accident. So let's go have a look at that. Just some entertainment value.
I just put my rubber band on, Scott. Walking under the plover.
Bit too hot. Degnar curves into the fence. Oh, almost back on the track.
Well, the WK&P panel beating crew is certainly going to have their work cut out for them post-race tonight, repairing all the panels.
Definitely. I do have a little bit of inside gossip on that one, though. I do know that the rig he's racing in tonight is not set up for him. And he was very worried going into tonight's race that he'd get cramps in his legs. So I'd probably say that could be the case.
Yeah, well, we have tipped over the hour mark now, so if you're not comfortable in the seat, it's certainly not very pleasant. So we'll still pick on him for it, but being the team boss, so
there's a few internet issues. I've seen him end up going and racing somewhere else on someone else's rig. So
Thanks, man.
at least he's here.
yeah.
And we might just have a look, see how Harrison's getting on. Young H. He's still fairly clear by himself. Oh no. Oh no. Race Control's just told me why that was a long pit stop by Wallboys.
Oh dear, was it same like similar?
6k slower.
Oh, okay. Well, he's slowly improving.
So 24 kilometres an hour over the limit on entry.
Yeah, that doesn't sound good when you put it that way.
If I was you, Nath, I'd be sleeping with one eye open tonight.
Yeah, they're well, at least on the positive side is that Blake might have a new red brake pedal when he wakes up tomorrow morning, so might help him out. So he's a little bit of an inside joke is that my nickname is green means go, so I might have to do red means stop for Blake. So between the two of us, we should have a pair of working pedals.
Yep. Yes.
No, it's certainly not what he would have been after. He'd definitely be hoping for a late race safety car at the moment, Blake would.
But, that's disappointing. Another one where he's gone from the pole man, thrown it away. You just got to make sure you get everything right in iRacing. You can't afford to make simple mistakes. Simple mistakes can hurt, as we're seeing tonight with War Boys. And let's have a look for a hard charger. Andrew Archer's up 14 spots. Doing very well.
Yeah, it's a very good effort by him.
And he's
23rd up into the top 10. You'd always got to be happy with that.
definitely would take it. Scotty McKeon's a further 3 seconds behind. Looks like Scotty's catching him though, so he might lose 1 or 2 still. Have a look where's some close. Darren Shannon still going. He's back into 17th now after the round of pit stops. He's hunting down Timmy Nichols from Pecky Performance Racing. Speaking of Pecky Performance, let's go see the man himself. He's under all sorts of pressure from Dylan Gray. And we have Troy Sipple just in front. So a bit of a battle pack forming here. Might just stay with these boys for a few minutes.
Yeah, giving it a red hot go, aren't they?
Yeah, I'll let you go through, Nathan, when you're 0.5 behind me.
Yep, so these guys are all having a good old battle here. Nathan Gore in the mix.
Thank you.
So Pecky 1 second ahead of Dave Garbutt. Ash Barella a further 6 seconds back.
That's
The
right.
79 entry from Pecky Performance Racing doing reasonably well. Whoa!
But Jim, Josh,
Just clipped Shane Ewan's there.
Josh.
A little bit close for comfort.
Yep. So lap traffic starting to become an issue here in the proceedings. And we have a new man in P3. Young Harrison.
Sorry, Stewie's jumped on the bandwagon again, saying that lucky that there's not 3 pit stops, otherwise Blake would be in last. So at least there is a positive out of any situation, I guess, is that there won't be a 3rd pit stop.
Well, I'd probably say if there was a 3rd pit stop, it'd be 18 kilometres over.
So if there is a 3rd pit stop though, if I do disappear for a second, it's because I'm telling him to slow down. And if I don't return, it's because he beat me to it. And thank you for watching and listening to me all.
I'm surprised you haven't heard the toys thrown out of the cot yet.
It's no, I don't think I'm game to walk down there just yet.
So Blake Harrison is in the pits with Carmichael coming in behind him. So I'm interested to see who gets out first here. And of course, Nathan Gore's back up in 5th again. We've got some very big splits here, guys, so there's not too much collection on track, unfortunately. As Dengate gets out clearly ahead there. So Gore moves up into 3rd, Whiting into 4th, Dengate into 5th. Might have a look at Nicholas Loveridge, that's where our close battle was. So Matty Dench has managed to get past Loveridge. And Roy Clark's come out. I know we've already done it once, but Roy Clark's going the big finish. He's calling Chris Smart for the win.
Go right.
So we'll lock that one in, Roy.
Yeah, with how Christian's been driving, smooth and consistent, I reckon he could be onto something there.
Definitely been the cream of the crop tonight. As he's out to a 4-second lead. And then Troy Maguire in second. It's 41 seconds up on Nathan Gore. Which is a substantial lead back to third. Then the battle for third is on between Gore, Whiting and Dengate. Of course, Maguire's in and Smart's still got to stop. So still getting to the last round of these pit stops.
Yeah, we're seeing I'm just having a look see at some of the lap times of the guys throughout the fields, and we're seeing some very quick lap times coming out of this final pit stop, so sort of ranging from low to high 2-minute twos, so it's certainly going to be a very, very quick race to the finish, it will.
Oh, and around she goes into the fence. Definitely not Rhino's night.
Be cramping up a lot.
Massive cramps. Needs the smelling salts. Let's have a look at how Christian Smart's going as he comes through the Degner curve and up to the hairpin. So yeah, that was the call of the week last week in Vets too, Roy. Asking if race control was still awake. He's there is a race control. Race control is back in 24th at the moment, so yes, he's still awake, still driving. Fighting his way back after the big accident he had earlier.
Right.
What jumper come Dengate? Dengate with a bit of traffic to deal with.
Certainly got his hands full, young H.
Oh, look, he can see that fishy car in front of him.
The bait's right there.
Thanks, Dave. No comment.
It's I'll let you handle crowd control here, Johnny.
Struggling right. So race control under Roy Clark. So Harrison Dengate is now a second behind Whiting. So this is going to be a real an epic battle here.
Yeah, he's certainly going to be pushing hard, young H, to try and get up as high as he can, because with how it's going and how tonight is, H might actually, with regards to the championship, he might be the man in the box seat at the moment to close into the two in front of him. So put on a very, very strong race performance, that's where all the points come from and where it counts. So
that's right.
Certainly can be the big winner out of tonight.
He wouldn't be the first person to win a championship without winning a race. And Dave Baldock wants a shout out from the race controller.
That's careful what you wish for there, Dave. We've asked for that sort of stuff before and got a drive-through penalty, so anything's possible. Proceed with caution.
I've seen them give you plenty of shout outs on a Thursday night in Vets, Dave.
Cheers, Tim.
So young H in the box seat. He's
I believe if he doesn't make his way onto the podium, I think H is also our hard charger at the moment.
Up 10 spots.
Andrew's gone from 23rd to 17th, so he's only gained 6 spots after the final round of pit stops have sorted themselves out.
Thanks, David.
You can hear Black Wall Boys. There you go, Blue. Blue 37, Blue 37, hut, hike. Yes, we've got to agree with that one. Definitely agree with that one, Ben. And we might just have a quick look around Harrison's where the battle is. We want to have a quick look how Nath Gore's going. Of course, he's just been passed by the McKnight. So Jamie up into 8th. Nathan Gore not getting too far ahead of him.
Yeah, Nate's having a really, really good race. Qualified 10th, staying in 9th position in the race at the moment, so having a very, very solid performance. So they're starting to very consistently get inside this top 10, which is great to see. Gore will be doing everything he can though to take back that spot from Jamie.
Thanks, mate.
There's no, I don't see too many lap car. Oh, sorry, Todd Martin's stuck at the pit lane entry.
I called it.
Let's have a look. Go to the Dirty Pig replay. Oh, she's loose. She's loose. She's in the fence. And we have an Austin Powers moment. We go backwards. Let's try forwards.
Do you still have that GIF loaded from a few weeks ago?
I don't. I need it. God damn it. He's going to get this going.
Yeah, I think he's got it going at the moment, which is good. So back onto the main straight. Must have just been waiting for a little bit of traffic to go by. So there you go, Austin Powers. That's might have to make his way on the livery there.
Thanks, mate.
What could have been worse timing. It could have been at the start of the pit stop rounds, which would have made it very interesting for the drivers. So
could have been. So McKnight's under a fair bit of pressure from Nathan Gore. And we might just have a quick look and see how Warboys is getting on. So Warboys has got himself up into 14th after the disaster pit stops.
Cheers, Peggy.
So doing
he's
reasonably well.
Certainly got very, very good race pace, he does, Blake. And in this final stint, he's gone lap 30. He did his quickest lap of the race of a 2-minute 1.063. So just to throw his own number into his best lap time, that's always a cool thing to see. But his lap times haven't been dropping off too much, and as always, that stint pace is fantastic for Blake.
Well, interestingly here, Dengate is now 0.4 seconds behind Whiting. So this is, I think, is where the battle's going to be for the next 6 laps.
I wonder if Young H can make it onto the podium.
Just a friendly reminder to all drivers that all in-game race trade is actually broadcast tonight. So, swear into a minimal, please.
And I think I missed something there. So in the chat, if I did, sorry, I apologise. We'll just mute that again.
I think they're just getting a friendly reminder about the voice chats as they're going through the drivers. So easy to get caught up as fatigue kicks in at this point of the race. So everyone is getting fitter and stronger, but fatigue is certainly a big factor at this time of the race.
And of course, I do apologise if anything was said. I did miss that through my mics, and I do get the old button pressing going wrong quite often here, so I didn't have comms muted when I probably should have.
That's alright, that's Young H, sorry to just change the topic there. Young H has nearly got past him here, but he's both drivers seem to be struggling with a little bit of drive off the corner, but no, I'm not sure, there's nothing I heard on my end, Johnny, so I think we're all good. And
Young H has done it.
Big dive bomb. H is up on the podium.
Young H. Nice move from the young fella there. He's done really well. Pulls out the blade and goes swish as he gets through. Nice pass by H.
Yeah, H is now the rice in the sushi train. Troy Maguire in front, his next target, 4 seconds up the road.
4 seconds, 5 laps. Don't know.
have to be a miracle for H to make it any further up, but this officially means we need to find a new hard charger. It does, Johnny.
It does. Let's go down the order.
Bit of a look-see through. Scotty McCune up into 7th after starting 13th. We've got Nicholas Lovrich has gone from up into 11th after starting 16th.
And let's double check where Mr. Hayes started. He's probably my likely one. I think he may have been another rarer field starter. Race control might be able to help us out with that one, but I believe that's the case. So yeah, it's very interesting.
Yeah, we've got Blair who's also come up 6 spots, although we might lose one though because he's got his got Blake right up his clacker there. So for any of those that were wondering, we can confirm Blair is in the shiny Commodore this week. So, and it's still looking shiny at this time of race. So he's doing a fantastic job tonight, Blair.
Yes, I have also heard that he's may have a new PC.
Ooh, a new gearbox for Blair as well. That's exciting.
Yep. There's young H still under a fair bit of pressure here from Michael Whiting. So Whiting's probably not going to let go just yet. So
I don't see Whiting being a man to give it up very easily, especially sitting there with not many laps to go. So could be interesting.
So at the moment, Nath, our hard charges will be Scotty McCune and Andrew Archer.
Double up. That's exciting. We're almost going to have to race control for a bigger broadcast room.
So Shane Ewan's exceeding 20 incident points, getting a penalty.
Well, you did bring it up earlier tonight, Johnny, that it is a hard track and incident points are very easy to accumulate around here, and getting closer to the tail end, we might see a few people get close to it here.
Yeah, Ryan Van Rie's gone for a 20-point incidence as well. So Michael Whiting's not going to let go of this spot. Having a slight little look on the inside there. Right up the rear tail of Dengate.
Yeah, he's certainly showing young H that if he makes a little mistake, he'll be right there to pounce and capitalise. So after starting second, I'm sure that Michael wants to do his best to try and get back on that podium as well. I'm sure the real reason is he just wants to come and have a chat with us, Johnny.
Definitely. Everyone loves to come and talk to us. It looks like McKnight's still under a lot of pressure from Nathan Gore, so Nathan having a real crack at it. Good to see. And the other little battle pack we've got going on at the moment is Michael Stewart keeping the pressure on Nicholas Loveridge. So still a bit of action. And of course, Blake Warboy's working his way up to 13th. About 2 seconds behind these guys with 4 laps to go.
There you go, here's a question. Do you reckon Blake has the pace to make it back into the, back near the top 10? Well, actually no, probably won't quite make the top 10, but will he make it up to 11th and get ahead of the 2 boys in front of him?
That is the question. So a bit of traffic there affecting the Dengate Whiting battle. Both cars through safely. So that's going to be another factor that we're going to have in these last couple of laps still, lap traffic.
Yeah, it's certainly catching a lap car at the wrong place at the wrong time on this track certainly can hurt you quite a lot.
Nathan Gore and McKnight side by side down the front straight. Oh, giving each other a fair bit of room here. Gore getting. I think Nathan's got him. I think he's got him. I think Nathan Gore has got the People's Champion.
What a move!
Notched that one up on the belt. Great driving. Great respect by both drivers.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure even Jamie's a little bit in awe and probably questioning how we managed to pull that off, but what a move.
That's a big move. Definitely has the pace. He's cleared out a little bit here. He's already 0.4 of a second away. So there's a couple of battles to keep our eye on. Michael Whiting's closed in on Harrison again. So, of course, for those following along at home, we haven't had a look at Christian Smart for a little while, but he's leading the race by 7.5 seconds from Troy Maguire. Then Troy is about 5.5 seconds up the road from these two. And then Rob Carmichael is 14 seconds back from these two. PRA's Paul Young in 6th. He's another 11 seconds down the road. And then Scotty McCune another 6 seconds down the road in 7th. Definitely looking for the slipstream. A little bit of swerving there.
Back of him, isn't he?
Of course, we're getting down to the pointy end of the show now. Lap 41 of 43. Warboys is caught up and past Loveridge. So we might just quickly jump in here because these positions will all count for a lot of points as we come into the pointy end of the season with only a couple of races left. Of course, for those following along at home, don't forget we've got the Bathurst 500 coming up. Where these boys are going to do 500 Ks around Bathurst solo. Going to be very interesting to see some fatigue come in at the end of that race.
Yeah, it's I reckon fatigue might be kicking in probably close to the 300 to 400 kilometre mark around Bathurst. I reckon that some boys are going to be very sore before we even get near to the end of the race. So coming off that little bit of experience from the 1000 a couple of weeks ago now, I feel I'm getting tired just thinking about it, Johnny.
It's a lot of work, isn't it, to do 500 Ks.
But pretty cool for these boys to be able to say that they would have done 500 Ks at Bathurst on their own. There's not many opportunities you get to be able to do something like that. So I'm sure a lot of them are looking forward to it.
Of course, we're going to be busy boys in the commentary box that day.
Yeah, we're gonna have a lot of talking to do. So, ladies and gentlemen, please clear out your earbuds because we will be all over it.
Of course, to give you some sort of idea, I think to give some sort of idea to what we're talking about. Michael Whiting's crashed. Sorry, I'm going to go to the replay. What's happened here? Oh, just tried very hard for the dive. He got control. He's got himself going quickly. That's all right. He's not going to lose P4. But I think that is that fight for that spot done.
Yeah.
That's a bummer. I was hoping that was going to be a close, tight finish.
Yeah, well, he did call it. He certainly didn't die wondering and wanted to give it a go. So that, a little bit of a sigh of relief though from young H. All he needs to do is just keep it, like the two guys in front of him, all they need to do is just keep it on the road and they will all get a very, very solid performance and finish tonight.
And yep, I've definitely got to agree with race control that Nathan's pass on Jamie has to be the move of the season so far. That was pretty epic, I thought.
Yeah, my vote's going for that as well. I don't think that we're going to see many better than that.
So Christian Smart, our race leader, 7 seconds out on the penultimate lap. We've got Maguire in second, Harrison Dengate in third. Our next battle pack now is basically Jamie McKnight. He's still putting a lot of pressure back on Nathan Gore. And of course, Matty Dench has joined the back of this pack as well. So I know we're fighting it out here for 8, 9 and 10, but this is where the battle is at the moment. Everyone else is fairly well spread out up the front. And McKnight up the inside.
Huge dive.
McKnight saying, how do you like them apples?
Yeah, Nate's returning and he's keeping it there. He's certainly not giving in to Jamie very easily at all.
And of course, this is bringing in Matty Dench into the battle. Too wide into the spoon curve. This is going to be interesting.
Nath blocked it up.
No, Nath. No.
Although will he get the better run rejoining though back onto it? Just losing a couple of spots. Jamie's not out of it, but yeah, Matty Dench could be the real winner out of this.
Could be.
Well, little fun fact based on the last lap time, Matty Dench is the quickest driver out of these three, but as we've seen, passing is a whole nother thing around this track, so will he get it done before the race is over? 1 lap to go.
This is an epic battle. Warboy's back in 11th, so he hasn't managed to get under the back of this. He's 14 seconds back from this group.
Yeah, it'd take a lot for Blake to catch up onto there. I'm sure he'd be hopeful, but it would take a lot in 1 lap to gain that sort of time.
So Andrew Archer sitting on 6 spots up. Looks like being our hard charger with Scotty McCune at the moment. And then, of course, Harrison Dengate's up 11 spots to make it into 3rd, but because he's done very well for that as well. So McKnight looks like he's under control here.
Yeah, he seems to be having just enough of a gap that he's holding Matty Dench at bay, but there are still a few long straights to go. A few big braking zones where Matty could get it done.
Of course, we're going to jump on board with our race leader. And we have Gore and green flag all the way tonight, which is a fair effort from these guys. And a big congratulations to Christian Smart, P1. Well done, Christian. Great drive, mate.
Great stuff,
very
Christian.
well done.
Fantastic race.
Troy Maguire home P2. And on the podium, Harrison Dengate.
Young H.
Sensational drive by Young H. And I've hit the wrong button. So I apologise. It's meant to be that one. And that's better. And in 4th, we've got Michael Whiting. In 5th, coming home is Rob Carmichael. Great drive by the Fishy boys tonight to have 3 cars in the top 5. PRA's,
Doing the sushi train proud.
PRA's Paul Young coming in 6th. Scotty McCune, great drive for 7th, mate. You've done well. Great recovery for this bloke. Oh, looks like Nathan Gore went off. Matty Dench went off there.
Yeah, he just locked it up going into the last section there, he did. So gave it his all to try and get ahead of Jamie, but just lucked out.
Let's just see if we have a quick look at the replay. See what happened there. Right, it's taking me back to that one. That's when Jamie got past. So they've had an epic battle, these guys. Try this one. No, it's the same one. So not sure what happened there. We'll leave that. Well, Nate, that was another great drive by Christian Smart. He's done really well tonight. Very measured, very controlled, very clinical. And yeah, great effort by Christian. Troy Maguire, a little bit unlucky with strategy, I think. Harrison Dengate, home in 3rd. That's his highest finish, I think, for the series. So Young H should be very happy with that. Can't complain. And
Certainly be very happy to be on that podium. But no, yeah, like you were saying, all the boys up the front there, certainly, they just kept their noses clean. Kept them clean, put down the lap times when they needed to, worked the strategy to their favour, and, well, the reward, they're on the podium. It's great stuff.
And you can't complain with that. No, anytime you're on the podium, you've got to be happy.
Yeah, most definitely. So, especially in this series, and the standard of driving and everything it is. So, as we've seen with how 1 lap pace and race strategy and race pace in this is two completely different things, 2 completely different mindsets. It's it's fantastic.
It is. So, for our finishing results, Christian Smart, P1, P2, Troy Maguire, P3, Harrison Dengate, up 11 spots, who's our hard charger tonight. So Harrison sneaking in there for that one as well. So we give him 2 crowns. Won't hear the end of this. Michael Whiting in 4th. Rob Carmichael in 5th, Paul Young in 6th, Scotty McCune in 7th, Jamie McKnight takes 8th. Great comeback drive from Jamie after his incidents in lap 1. Matty Dench 10th, Blake Warboys 11th outside the top 10 from our championship leader. Could this be a championship defining evening with him being in 11th, Nath?
That's the big question. Although it's certainly not over yet, and it's certainly not done and dusted. However, it is a very, very hard battle, and it's very hard to get your edge over your competitor at this pointy end of the championship. So who knows?
We might bring in our race winner, Christian Smart. Christian, well done, mate. That was an epic drive. You really showed class all the way around.
Congratulations, mate.
Yeah. Thanks, Nathan. Thanks, John.
You seem to be very controlled, and no, we were a little bit worried when Troy jumped you in the pit stops. It was a case of, I think he's probably put less fuel in than what you boys did.
Yeah, as soon as he jumped me in the pit stop, I thought, he's short filled, and I thought, well, if I just relax and don't push the car too much, and I'll save the tyres, and had it towards the end there, and yeah, it just worked out really well. But just unfortunate there for young Blake. He had some really good pace tonight, and yeah, congrats to Troy and Harrison there.
Yeah, he had some really good pace in the pits. Whoops.
Yeah, I figured he must have got a bit of a penalty as soon as I jumped him in the pits, poor bugger.
Race control tells us that the first pit stop he was 30 kilometres over on entry, and then the second pit stop he was 24 kilometres over on entry.
Wowzers! Yeah, that's certainly a big over speed there, and unfortunately won't get away with that.
A little bit of a whoopsie.
Definitely hasn't. Anyone you want to give a shout out to, Christian?
Yeah, I'd just want to thank, firstly, Laurie Saunders at Torrent Safety, all the support he gives me, Damo and mates there, and Sage, my IT guy, helps me out a lot, and the boys at SSR and United, they're Jamie for awesome setup there that I just managed to grab from the last time we did an enduro and just tweaked it a little bit for quali and then just altered it a bit for race. So yeah, thanks, Jamie.
We're going to put a big shout out here, actually. Speaking of USS, we want to see Hayden Veld in this series. We reckon this series would be ideal for Bud.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, he's a gun.
Bring the Bud out.
Bring the Bud. We know he does full send on Monday nights. We know he's been dubbed the People's Champion of full send, but we'd love to see him in this series.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, and I'd like to thank you guys for putting on a great show, and Ben, Mark, and all the boys and all the race control there that do an awesome job putting it all in the hard yards every week. It's and all the other drivers. It's just awesome, good, clean racing, and just awesome having a great battle there with Troy there.
When you watch the replay tonight, there's been some amazing overtakes, particularly between Nathan Gore and Jamie, and just too wide in corners where you wouldn't even dream about it. So, and all clean.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
Almost. It was almost a pass. It was contender of pass of the season, dare we say it. So it was fantastic racing tonight.
Awesome. Yeah, looking forward to it. Unfortunate for Jamie on lap 1, turn 1 there. Unfortunate for him. Otherwise, there would have been some great battles with us too. Yeah.
It did give us something to talk about though, watching Jamie charge back all the way through up to 8th. So he recovered in front of Blake. So he can't, not a complete loss.
Good to hear.
Yeah. We might bring in our second place driver, Mr. Maguire. Troy, congratulations on second, mate.
Good evening and congratulations.
Yes, thank you.
How'd you find that one, mate? You seem to have gone for the shorter fuel option on the first stop. Try and jump the boys.
No, I just come in and took maximum fuel. I was going to just short fuel towards the end, like most people did, I think.
Yeah. No, it was interesting that you jumped them. Quite a good drive, mate. And you sort of had a really good battle with Christian there for a fair while.
Yeah, it was good. I liked it when it was behind me, not so much in front of me, but when he got past me, I knew that I could hold on. But I got a good start, got out there out clean and got away from the carnage. That was my main focus tonight, is get away well. And after that is whatever happens, and it happened to be. But yeah.
Nice. Were
No.
tyres much of an issue in your strategy at all tonight, Troy?
Oh, well. Yeah, the setup wasn't ideal for me tonight. I lost the tyres about lap 9, lap 10. And it's just a matter of just hold it on and keep it on the road and stop it from sliding pretty much. So,
Nice.
Yeah. Anyone you want to give a shout out to, Troy?
yeah, mate, obviously sponsors, Sideways Photography, Black Wolf Graphics, Relax Marine and Game Fishing, DC Shades, Precision Sim Training, also Ben for running the series, of course. You know, it's good hard work and all the effort he does and puts into it. I do appreciate it. And yeah.
That's good. We might bring in our third place driver and our hard charger tonight. So congratulations, Harrison, on third and being the hard charger, up 11 spots.
Young H, double crown.
Yeah, I know. It's different.
Tell us how your race went, Harrison.
It went as good as it possibly could have. I mean, I didn't expect from 14th I'd be up in the podium. To stay out of trouble. Really, that was the key to my success.
It was, particularly after jumping in with you during quali last night.
Yeah.
You pretty much thought it wasn't going to be much of an event for you. So what's the key to staying out of trouble, mate?
Don't crash, to put it simply. But mainly just focus on yourself. Don't think about what's behind you and just keep your eyes forward. If you more concentrate on your driving, then you're not going to get distracted, you're not going to make a mistake. And that's what happened with me. I never looked behind me, and here I am on the podium.
Did you put much thought into, as the race was going on, did you put much thought into your strategy, or were you mainly looking at the leaders going, oh, when they pit, I'm going to pit, and what they do, I'm going to do? Or were you on your own path and doing what you were saying, running your own race?
I'll be honest with you, I was literally just relying on my teammates, because I had no clue.
That's fair enough then, but, well, it's worked for you, so it's good to see you up here.
Oh, yeah, it's great. It's great to be back here.
And I'm just going to try some trickery here, see if this works for us. Quick look here. So there's our championship standing. So Blake Warboys now moves to 1876. Jamie McKnight is 1863. And Harrison Dengate is 1786. So she's really tightening up at the top now.
Wow.
Rob Carmichael's moved up one spot to 1753. So it is really tightening up, considering.
And then just one spot behind him, looking at what you got there at 1751 for Scotty McCune.
So,
wow.
So it is really shaping up to be a cracker of a series. And while I'm playing.
Yeah, well, that's. I suppose that's one for you boys at the podium. Does that get you more excited, more keen going into these last couple of races?
And Harrison?
Yeah, definitely. It's a type of thing where you're in form, basically. As soon as you get one good result, you hope that you can improve on the next few. And if you do, then you're going to go great. That's what I'm hoping for.
And of course, guys, next week we go to Detroit, Motor City for the Belle Isle. Any thoughts
Concrete jungle.
Any thoughts on how to tackle that one?
No clue. I haven't even started practicing. I just say just don't hit the walls, which is easier said than done. But yeah, just we'll cross that bridge, come to it, and just treat it like another race.
And just quickly, Harrison, before we wind up, is there anyone you want to give a shout out to?
Of course, it's gotta be me, man. He watches this all every Tuesday, every single time. Loves the race and loves the commentary. So I definitely want to thank her. I want to thank the guys back at the team as well. You know, Blair, Blake, Ashton, Ryan, really helpful guys, and they definitely helped me run. today. So big shout out to them.
That's good, mate.
Nice.
Yeah. We're going to wrap it up here, guys, and we'll see everybody next Tuesday night from Motor City.
Too easy. We'll catch everyone from another concrete jungle, and yeah, I'm looking forward to next Tuesday already.
Can't wait. See you all then.